You got Brian White back at full training today.
Yep.
What does that mean to your team?
It means that he's going to be on the bench tomorrow, and if we need him, he can play. So we're always happy to have everyone fit. At the moment, most of the guys are fit. The only two that are out are Eric and Caio, and so that gives us the possibility to make choices and also to make mistakes. So we'll see tomorrow. No, I think we had a good week of training. We'll see.
And what does it feel like to be back here at BC Place, readying for the home opener?
Oh, very good. I'm really looking forward tomorrow to have our fans behind us and supporting us and pushing us to do our best. One of the things that it's not the reason why. Yeah? The reason why we did a very bad performance because we were terrible last week. And but one of the things that also made the thing more difficult was that they had a lot of fans, and we are a very young team that they really rely also on the support of the people.
One more from me. Toss has his deal signed today. What does he add to this team?
A lot. The togetherness that we had in the locker room last year, the togetherness that the team had with the fans last year, I think we owe a lot to Toss Ricketts. So the playoff qualification wouldn't be possible without him last year. And also on the field is a guy that he gives us. He's a different kind of striker. I always laugh when I call him with you. I call him the defensive striker because he's the best one in kind of putting pressure, and when we are up in the scores, try to lock down and try to, let's say, avoid them to build up. So it will be important also in the field too.
What do you hope to see from the defense tomorrow that you did not see in Columbus?
Well, I have to be honest. The defense in Columbus, I know it sounds like a joke because we lost 4-0, but it was the best line. I think it was the back three was the best line of the. I think they were putting under pressure for the entire game, and they were doing an okay job. I want to see much more from our wingbacks, from our midfielders, and from our strikers. That was for me the big key of our losses last game.
What do you expect from New York, the Cup champions?
I expect them to be a very strong team. It's going to be really hard tomorrow. They are here. We know we can't even count on the fact that they're going to have a long flight because they've been here in the West Coast for the last 2-3 weeks. So they're a very technical team. They like to play a lot, but if you give them space, they're going to be a problem. They have the golden boot of last year. Tati plays number 9. Maxi Morales is a top player because it's a very underrated player in my opinion. Yeah, I remember I played against him actually when he was playing in Italy, and when I was assistant coach at Livorno. We won. We beat Atalanta 1-0, but it's gonna be really hard. And if we don't do the thing that we are supposed to do, especially if we are not compact and very well organized in the pressure, and point 2, if we are not very practical when we build up and we play the ball as fast as we can beyond their defensive line, it's gonna be extremely hard.
The team hasn't trained here in 2 years. At BC Place, how is the pitch? How important is it to get accustomed to playing here via practice?
Well, it is. It's a new turf, so we had that the game against our second team last week, and this training specifically to get the player used to the turf, to get the player used to the bounce that are a little different than before, to the speed of play that probably is a little different than before. So our turf was an advantage last year. So everyone comes here and says, the turf, and now puck, and we were there very aggressive on them. So we hope that it's going to be an advantage today too, this year too.
Final one for me. Did you say Eric is out?
Huh?
Did you say Eric is out tomorrow?
Yeah, Eric is out.
What happened to him?
He has a little problem on the calf.
Vanni, I know you want some certain technical things to happen tomorrow, but just to have the energy which showed it a lot last year to have that energy off the bench.
It is, and I think it's very important the first 15-20 minutes of the game. We went to the game, and then of course the first 15-20 minutes were terrible, and then you switch from performance mode to the anxiety mode as a player. And when you are anxiety mode, you're no longer concentrated on what to do. You just look like to avoid embarrassment. That's not my word. It's our sports psychology, Dr. Cox, he told me yesterday, and I really totally agree with him. And we need to avoid that. We need to be focused on the task, and we need to be focused on the next ball, and we need to have that self-confidence. I give you a practical example. Last year, the playoff bound game when we played here against Seattle, and they scored after 7 minutes. If we wouldn't be in the right mindset, we started immediately. We dominated them till we tied, and also we deserve also to win the game. So I want to see that being relentless, being confident, and being also happy to play in front of our fans.
Vanni, it seemed like I thought last week that you guys gave the ball away a lot.
Yes.
And I actually felt like I noticed a bit in practice today that the starters seemed to be turning the ball over. Is it hard? Is it hard to play that game that you want to get the ball down the field, because it goes up in the air, it's 50-50 most times, right?
Well, it's not hard. Well, let me rephrase. The fact that we gave away the ball, it's every team gives away the ball. It's when and how you do it. If we do it, doing what we want, playing those fast way of build up and play behind their line, where there's a high risk but also there's a high reward, it's okay. Sometimes we can win this ball and we can go. Sometimes they win this ball, but they're so far from our goal that we can be there and press and try to win the ball back and counter-attack. If we lose the ball when there's no high rewards to play the ball before, that's a problem. That's what happened last week.
New York right now, obviously they're balancing Champions League and MLS play.
Yeah.
No team in Champions League won an opening weekend. For you, do you feel it kind of as the fact that they're balancing that, do you think it'll impact them, or do you think it's going to give them a boost now that they've had those extra games? I
have to be honest. If they had a good result in LA, I thought they would have come here with maybe some rotation and thinking more about the Champions League game. But due to the fact they lost, I think they're going to come here fully concentrated and with the top team try to make the 3 points here, because of course they don't want to be 0 points after 2 games. So I envision a very, very tough game.
And then it's no secret last week you guys struggled a bit in the midfield. Obviously New York is a team that's strong in the midfield. How do you feel you guys can avoid getting kind of overrun like that this week?
Again, playing the less possible time in the middle of the park. Being very good at pressing, so they are forced to play a long ball and we win that long ball. And then when we have the ball, play in for the idea to play immediately out again. Because the more, I agree with you, the more we keep the ball in the middle channel, the more they are the favorite of the game.
Just one thing for me, what did you see from Lucas Cavallini last week that you liked? It looked like he had one of his more productive games, even though there was no. Service.
I think it was. His game was positive. I like the fact it was always, I would say, linked to the game, he basically won, I would say, half of his duel against against the defenders, and that's a good ratio for a striker. And I like the fact that it was he really applied himself in trying what we were doing, the pressing. He didn't do any of his frustration move that he does sometimes, and so it means that is locked and is fully committed. Fit-wise, is much fitter than last year. So let's break this spell. Tomorrow he scores, we win, and we're all happy.
Excellent. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vanni.